As you get older, you might think that you've lost interest in video games, but occasionally a great game comes along and you realize that the problem is within the industry, not you. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a prime example of one of these games that highlights many of the problems within the gaming industry. Passionate art to please gamers will always be better than corporate slop that only aims to please shareholders. Do you want your shareholders to be happy? Good, then let the devs cook. Sandful Interactive is a new studio made up of ex-Ubisoft employees that got bored working at Ubisoft, go figure, junior game devs with little to no prior experience, a SoundCloud artist, and a Reddit writer. And they painted an absolute masterpiece. 67 years prior to the beginning of our story, an event called the Fracture occurred, and brought with it the Paintress, a godlike entity that wakes once a year and paints upon a giant monolith a number that decrements by 1. And everyone over that age basically gets Thanos snapped. Every year, another group of people are sent to the mainland to progress and try to end this countdown towards death. You play as members of Expedition 33, led by the now oldest citizen of the city of Lumiere, 32-year-old Gustave, in their quest to eliminate the Paintress. I'm not going to dive too deep into the story elements here because I really don't want to spoil one of the best stories in gaming for those of you that still haven't played it yet, but just know that the plot is genius, the comedy relief is hilarious, and the characters are very well written. This game has been life-changing, and I don't think I'm ever going to mentally recover from the absolute cinema gaming experience that I just had. This game does something that I don't usually see very often, and I'm going to be honest with you, I really want more of it. Combat is done in the typical JRPG-style turn-based gameplay, but with a twist. During the enemy's turn, you can dodge and parry with not-so-obvious QuickTime events. Usually I'm not super crazy about QuickTime events, but in a turn-based RPG, it's actually fantastic, because it keeps you constantly in the action, keeps your senses alert, and rewards fast reflexes. Think of it kinda like a combination of Persona and Sekiro. As a lover of turn-based JRPGs and action games with parry-heavy swordplay, this is a match made in heaven for me. This not only improves the JRPG style formula, but also completely evolves it into something far better, solving one of turn-based gameplay's biggest issues. No more wishing for a fast forward button while you sit through an enemy's attack animations. As your characters level up, they'll be given points towards skill tree unlocks and attribute points that can be used to allocate stat buffs. There are also collectible Pictos that function very similarly to the materia found in Final Fantasy VII. After a few battles, you can learn the Pictos and swap them out for a different one, and use the effects of prior learned Pictos using Lumina points, stacking up passive abilities that will make your party more powerful. Such abilities include higher critical rates, additional effects to attacks and skills, healing buffs, and so forth. The overworld map is beautifully crafted. It's an obvious love letter to the overworlds of retro JRPGs like older Final Fantasy games and Dragon Quest. There are plenty of collectible goodies and optional boss fights scattered across the map and throughout the different levels, so be sure to check every nook and cranny. There are even some fun minigame challenges at the Gestural beaches. I did not like the volleyball one though. That one sucked. Gestural volleyball bad. My only issue is that much of the world opens up to you at the end of the game, and I feel like a lot more of these areas should have been accessible throughout Acts 1 and 2. It's mostly post-game content at that point, but still very worth doing. Although, if I'm being completely honest, I feel like this was done intentionally. If you play the game, you'll see what I mean. I tend to have a very weird love-hate feeling towards Unreal Engine 5 for a multitude of reasons, mainly due to the fact that it tends to be bloated as hell. But holy mother of Leonardo da Vinci, this game is absolutely gorgeous to look at. The love and care put into each of these beautiful levels and areas. The serene oceanic environments, the floating islands, the calm forests, the scenic mountains, everything is just so mwah. The attack animations are also fantastic, making the action both brutal and beautiful. The devs really decided to hire Lorient Testard and Alice Duport-Pircier, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, to make an absolute banger of a soundtrack that comes with a free game. Nah, but in all seriousness, the music in this game is phenomenal, and I think it's going to be between this and Finishing Moves OST for Doom the Dark Ages for best score this year. Oh wait. It got Billboard's #1 for best classical music. Yeah. 5 seconds into the first battle theme and I was already blown away so hard that my mind broke. The songs in this game have been playing on loop in my head for the last 2 weeks and will now be a mainstay in several of my Spotify playlists. I absolutely cannot wait to hear a bunch of the different covers that'll be coming from some of my favorite YouTube musicians. The only real gripe I have, and this will hopefully be fixed in an update, is that the voice acting doesn't properly sync with many of the cutscenes, making it seem a little jarring, and no, the cutscenes were not made around the French dub, I already checked. I'm willing to look past this because honestly, it's a minor issue and wasn't constant, plus it's patchable. Expedition 33 has become my latest hyperfixation, and I really hope Sandful Interactive makes more RPGs like this in the future, because this game has been evoking emotions in me that I have not felt from gaming in a very long time. I am still emotionally processing my experience with this game. Everything about it is so good, other than the tiniest flaws, but those get lost in the overarching game structure and ability to lose yourself in the gameplay and story. To avoid spoilers, I suggest getting your hands on this game now and playing through it as soon as possible. It's currently available via Xbox Game Pass, but I implore you to grab it on Steam or PS5 if that's not an option. Plus, it's only $50. And in an economy where major publishers are now asking for $70 to $90 for a video game, this is a steal. This game gets an easy 10 out of 10 from me and is one of the rare games to make it onto my masterpieces list. I used to have trouble answering the, if you could delete one game from your memory in order to experience it again for the first time, which would it be question, but the answer to that question is now Expedition 33. The rest of the gaming industry has officially been put on notice, as this is easily one of the greatest games I've ever played in the last 3 decades and will forever be one of my favorites. Oh, and if we don't get SKA plushies, I'm gonna go absolutely apeshit. And now there's a siren. I'm recording important!